Chapter 5. Before we start, let's talk about how to act around dogs. Does anybody you know the first rule about petting a dog you haven't met before? Meg asked. Lizzie shot her hand up. Ask his owner first, she said. Some dogs don't like strangers. Good, Meg said. Also, most dogs don't really know what it's like to be hugged by somebody they don't know. So if the owner says it's okay, you can start by letting the dog sniff your hand. If the dog doesn't shy away, pat its head gently. But by now, Casey was pushing her head against Lizzie's hand, begging for a pat. Lizzie and Charles scratched the pup's ears while Meg began to explain how Casey worked. Dogs have an excellent sense of smell, Meg said. In fact, they can smell about 10 times better than we can. So a dog can even smell a person even if they get lost. If I ask Casey to find one, she'll start by sniffing the air, trying to figure out where the person is. Then she'll start to run, following the person's smell. When she finds them, she'll run right back to me and bark to let me know. Then she leads me to the person. Meg turned to Lizzie. I'm going to keep Casey from watching while you go hide behind the tree near that monkey bar, okay? Then Casey gets to play her favorite game, hide and seek. She loves to be it. I'll ask her to find you, and all you have to do is stay until she brings me back to you. Got it, Lizzie said. While Meg distracted Casey, Lizzie ran underneath a tree and tucked herself behind its trunks. After a moment, she heard Meg say, "Find Lizzie!" In 2 seconds, Casey was nosing at Lizzie's hand. Lizzie couldn't help giggling when she pulled herself from the tree trunks. Good girl, she whispered to Casey. Then Casey was up again, heading back to Meg. She barked excitedly to tell Meg where the lost person was. Ruff, ruff. In another minute, Meg and Casey had appeared at Lizzie's side. She then gave Casey a dog biscuit and lots of pats, like all the kids and teachers applauded. Of course, Meg told the excited crowd. Casey's jobs are usually more complicated. Last month, we searched 7 hours for a little boy that was lost. After that, Meg showed some methods she had used to train Casey, starting with a game she called Puppy Runaways. She had Charles pat Casey, then take off running towards the sing set. Casey bounded right after him, not letting him out of her sight. When she caught up with him, Charles gave her a biscuit. That is how I taught Casey. That's a good thing to know when to follow somebody, Meg explained. We started with a real person. And after a while, she did learn how to follow a person's smell too. The way she did it with Lizzie. Meg smiled at Lizzie and Charles. Thanks for your help, kids, she said. Lizzie gave Casey one more pat before she and Charles headed back to their class groups. I have a great idea, Lizzie whispered to Maria. But when she was standing next to her friend again, before Lizzie could say more, Meg turned to Officer Frost. Your turn! Okay, said the policeman. Hi, everybody. He looked down at 4, who was sitting by his side. Can you wave hello? 4 picked up his right front paw and waved. Everybody cheered and cooed. I wanted to add something to what Meg said about being dogs you don't know, said Officer First. Another thing is, some dogs get frightened if you look directly into their eyes. They think you are challenging them to fight with you. Since that's one way dogs challenge each other, he asked Meg to demonstrate by growling when looking into Forrest's eyes. Forrest started to growl and bark. Lizzie suddenly understand why most people might be afraid of German Shepherds, or any big dog for that matter. But Officer Frost held Forrest's leash tightly. As soon as Meg stepped back and looked away, Forrest stopped barking. "Forrest's my partner," said Officer Frost. "Just like a human partner, he keeps me company and helps me prevent and solve crimes, and protects me if I get in trouble." Lizzie could just imagine how Ford was if somebody tried to hurt Officer Frost. Yikes! Officer Frost told a story about how Ford caught a bad guy who was running away after robbing a store. He then talked more about how Ford rode around with him in his patrol car all day. And what a typical day was like for two partners. "He's my best friend," said Officer Frost. Reached down to pet Ford. "And Ford has some very good friends right in the classroom. Don't you, Ford? A class in the high school sponsors him. They all spoil Ford rotten with treats and toys." When Lizzie heard that, her eyes lit up. Maria smiled and started chuckling. Lizzie knew her best friend was already telling what she was thinking. Lizzie was getting another great idea.